Melissa shouldn't be in my room, right?
Right? Why, did you just hear somebody in your room?
Paranormal cases or activity isn't anything new in the world. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, it's arbitrary when looking at hard evidence that there's something not of this world interacting with this reality. As much as I like to stay factual, not personal with these cases, it gets a little harder when the case is right inside of your house. In today's episode of The Twitch, we're going to be talking about those who've passed on, those who chose to stay, and those who are stuck in a deranged limbo of terror. It all started about a week after moving into my current house. Seeing things out of the corner of my eyes isn't anything new. I've been able to catch these lingering souls through glimpses for many, many years. But when they started standing over me at 4 a.m., lingering at the end of my bed, that's when I knew there was something different about this house, and that's when I knew that I wasn't alone at night. I wasn't the only one. My mom, dad, and sister have all had their fair share of encounters with people beyond the grave. So, you said that you were experiencing some disturbances and seeing ghosts. Do you want to share a story about that?
Oh yeah, definitely. So what happened is I was in my office area here in the living room, and I heard something, which I thought was Melissa coming through the door in the hallway. And so I turned to look, and I saw a hand and a boy, like a smoky shadow figure, like reaching out toward me, like I thought it was Melissa, because I thought maybe she thought I was on video, video talk, chat or whatever. So I thought she was reaching out to kind of get my attention, and when I looked, it was the boy, and then he like disappeared like that, like the smoke went.
Oh, geez, wow. And what did you feel in that moment?
Well, I was really scared, and I also earlier that day, the hallway door was closed, but the bathroom window shines light into the hallway. And so I looked, and I thought I saw somebody walk by, and I was like, surely not. So I watched the bottom of the door, because you could see the light from the window of the bathroom coming through underneath the hallway door. And then I saw something go by again. And I was like, okay, that was a little creepy. Yeah. And so then later on is when the boy appeared.
And did you hear anything when that happened?
Yeah, right before I saw him, I heard what sounded like the hallway door. Like sometimes the air conditioner will come on and will kind of pull the hallway door closed, so it make a thunk noise. But this time it was like a lighter thump than normal, like kind of like if one of you guys walked through the hallway door and then shut it behind you. And so I thought that's what I had heard. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I turned to look, and then he was like, kind of like, and at the same time I kind of saw him out the corner of my eye, and I turned to look, and I thought it was Melissa. And then I realized what I was looking at, and I was very startled, and I didn't scream, but I was like, and then watched it disappear. So That was kind of creepy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Have you experienced anything paranormal in the past few days or months that you would like to share about?
Yes. So the other night I was laying in bed facing the wall, and I heard some popping against the floor, kind of like when you walk around, the floors are really creaky. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was Mom just coming in to check on me, make sure I was either going to bed or I didn't need anything else like water.
Right.
So I turned over and no one was there. Mm-hmm. So then I assumed it was the house settling. Well, but then that kept happening throughout, the days. It wasn't every day, so you could still say that it was the house settling. So the other thing was that I have felt people sit on my bed that weren't there, which it seems pretty weird, but that feeling like when an animal or a person sits or lays on the bed, it's like that. Mm-hmm. So there's been a combination of 3 things: popping on the floor, something sitting on the bed, been touched the back area. Every time that happens, I think it's Mom, coming in to check on me, so it's walking against the floor. The pressure on the bed would be her sitting down. Even being touched on your back like sweetheart or something like that. but it's never her. There's never anyone there.
As each of us kept seeing these people more and more, me, my sister, and my mom decided to conduct an EVP session in mine and my sister's room where most of the activity was occurring. If you don't know what an EVP is, it means electronic voice phenomenon. Within ghost hunting and parapsychology, electronic voice phenomena, EVP, are sounds found on electronic recordings that are interpreted as spirit voices that have been either unintentionally recorded or intentionally requested and recorded. As a precursor to what I'm about to tell you, let me explain. There were two spirits in my room, a little boy and a man in his mid-30s. Now, when we conducted the EVP session, we figured that we'd talk to the boy first and maybe only because he was more attached to me and felt more receptive. Once we finished our session, we looked back at the almost 20-minute recording and found that one of our questions had an answer. Sadly, the EVP was deleted. I know, fishy. The one shred of evidence that there was a ghost or a spirit in my room, and it was just deleted. I had no control over it though. You can talk to my mom about that particular move, but what we did capture is the answer to the question, "What is your name?" To which the little boy responded, "Joseph." Everyone had goosebumps and chills. The second we found out that that was his name, the second that we heard that on the recording, we all knew it was true. We all felt it. It just went straight through our body like a wave of energy. What we also knew is that he wasn't being harmful or didn't have evil intent. He was just being playful and curious. I soon after named my plant after him and really grew used to seeing him out the corner of my eye at night. But the other spirit, the man in his mid-30s, never spoke up. He was still constantly in my room, but didn't show up in the recordings and no one else saw him. In fact, the only contact I had with him was physical. As for 3 nights in a row, my leg was touched, my bed was sat down on, the covers were dragged off me, and my shoulder was shoved down on. Now, a spirit that wasn't in my room but in the house was a man that we found through another EVP session way earlier on named Tom. He was an older man, and every time we had the TV on, the lights would flicker above us. Now, what we took this as when we did the EVP as a sign that he didn't like the TV. He hated all electronic items and constantly flickered the lights. Now, you may be thinking, well, maybe it's just 'cause the TV was on. Well, one time when we were doing an EVP session, the light flickered by itself, and no TV was on. It was the middle of the day, we weren't doing anything with it, so take that for what it's worth. None of them worried me, though. I wasn't scared of Tom, I wasn't scared of the mid-30s man, and I wasn't scared of Joseph. But what did worry me was a dark presence I had been sensing in my sister's room. And all I really knew about it is that it wasn't playful. We then communicated with the boy, Joseph, again, but not via EVP. Instead, we felt into the space, calling him in, and deciphering the ethereal mass of noise into what we found were sufficient answers to our questions. And from what we gathered via this session was that there was a dark presence in her room, but there was also one underneath it. A few days passed and we're drawn to a small white door at the base of our house. Not like we felt like there was something there, really. It was more physically. Every time we walked our dogs, they would lead straight to the door and sniff it and claw at it. And every time we walked them, no matter where, they would always want to go there. But from last time we checked, there wasn't much under there. It was just a 2-foot tall crawl space underneath the house that sure was dark and probably had a lot of spiders in it, but nothing really creepy. So we opened up the crawl space area, looked around, took our flashlights, only to realize that to the left, there was a square opening into a pit. We were completely shocked. Like, how could we have missed that? We looked in there before thinking, ooh, that's a creepy area. But how could we have missed that there was an entire room to the left side? 3 days later, we prepared for a banishing ritual, casting out any negative energy and throwing down salt so they never came back. While I didn't catch any paranormal evidence on camera, the overall energy down there left me breathless. Literally. The air was dry and tight, and my chest was constantly had pressure on it. And as I walked around the perimeter of the room, it felt like someone was pressing down onto my spine. I constantly felt like I just wanted to crawl out of the room and never go back in. One creepy thing that I did notice, though, is the serious lack of spiders. You would think that in an area underneath a house where there's no disturbances, it's dark, and the air is nice and dry, you would think that there would be a whole load of those creepy crawlies, but no. I didn't see a single one, until later, that is. But before we get into that, the only real evidence that kind of creeped me out was that about halfway through the session, we heard the water pipes running.
That's the bathroom. That's the bathroom to your left. And
Whoa.
The bedroom is just to the left of that.
It's just water.
Water. The only thing creepy about this is that, well, I have some poison in my room, so the dogs can't come in here. And we don't want them loose around the house in case they tear up anything while we're gone. So my sister stays here in the house. The hallway door is shut so they don't get into our rooms. And I hear the water pipes running in this bathroom. She said she never went to the bathroom. Second thing, as we're doing the banishing ritual, I hear someone walking in my room. And it definitely sounds like someone's walking in there. I know what it sounds like to walk into my room. And my sister said she never went to the hallway. Whether this was just the house shifting or there was an actual spirit walking in my room, it seriously scared me. My dad said his final prayers, casting out any and everything that could be residing down in that area.
With the elements of water, fire, and earth, we consecrate this ground, we bless it, and we make it holy. We say that no evil, no darkness, no spirit can attach itself to this place because it's been cleansed, it's been set apart. Se alatalo el kukito kan sabatu mi nujge magadanje kadanamogaste magadona makache. In the name of the I Am, in the name of Tenkashalan, in the name of the great and one spirit, this place is purified. It's made right. It is appropriated for those that live in this house. All that were once here, all that were passing by, may not dwell here or attach themselves to this dwelling or this ground. I have spoken, and so it is. And so it is, so it is. Se elko are yecha nakura nakte kumpan sabe ato.
And so it is. We collected our items and climbed out of the pit. But right before we did, something sent chills down my spine. Remember what I said about the spiders? How there was none? Well, as soon as we all said, and so it is, I saw 3 spiders before he walked out of the pit. And this was in a matter of 20 seconds that I saw them. So, I'm not saying that by doing the banishing ritual we cleared up the space and these spiders came out and came into a space that you would think that they would be. I just think that it's interesting that the entire time they weren't down there, but in the second that the ritual is done, that they appear. I climb out. We spread a line of salt in the front of the door. We say a final prayer. We shut the door, lock it, and we haven't been back down there since. I think the creepiest thing to come out of all of this is that now in the hallway I can be walking back from the bathroom or from my room and I don't feel like there's someone walking behind me. I haven't seen Joseph, the 30-year-old man, Tom, or sensed the negative spirit in the house at all. So I'm not sure whether to feel comforted by the fact that there's no one with me at night or sad that I have to let go of the fact that Joseph will no longer be with me. Either way, this was relatively scary for me, just knowing that there was something here. The energy was cleared by this ritual, so there was something in this house. And in the end, from what we can tell, our house is officially ghost-free, spirit-free, and negative presence-free. And I'm not saying that there won't be ever something that comes back or that we won't ever deal with spirits again, but just knowing that there's nothing sinister under my sister's bedroom or in my bedroom makes me sleep better at night. Thank you guys for watching this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed. I know this is a little bit different episode because I'm not talking about an actual case that happened, but I'm talking personally about something that happened. But I really felt like I wanted to share with this story with you guys. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you want me to do more content like this, where I'm talking more about stuff that's happened with me, then, maybe drop a like, subscribe, tell me in the comments section. There's going to be merch in the description with all my socials, so you guys can go check those out. Thank you for 200 subscribers. It took us nearly an entire year to reach 100, and it only took us 3 weeks to gain another 100. So you guys are absolutely insane. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video. You guys are the best, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Peace.
Thank you.